We've got a new contender for worst dad in movie history. I saw The Iron Claw, A24's new wrestling drama about the Von Erich family, and here's what I thought was good and not so good in the movie, all without any spoilers. First, the good stuff. Zac Efron was surprisingly great. He's believable physically, but he also nailed those repressed male emotions. Jeremy Allen White was also fantastic, as were the other brothers played by Harris Dickinson and Stanley Simons. The story called on all of them to play some really sad and dramatic moments, and they all rose to the occasion. Likewise, Maura Tierney, who plays their mother, nearly steals the movie with one very emotional scene. And shout out to Aaron Dean Rosenberg, who was really damn good as Ric Flair, even though he was only in like 2 scenes. The montages and wrestling scenes were the highlights of the movie for me. Writer-director Sean Durkin shot and edited these scenes with a ton of energy, and I thought that they were just really well done. The movie also had some strong cinematography. There were a couple of great oneers, and a really memorable shot of Efron bouncing back and forth on the ropes. And I especially enjoyed the movie's use of shadows. The Iron Claw also excelled in its small moments. A scene early in the movie features the brothers just eating burgers in a car. It didn't really move the story forward at all, but it just felt really real and told you everything you needed to know about their bond. And finally, the soundtrack is superb, with a number of well-timed, perfectly chosen songs from the 70s and 80s. Now, what didn't work for me? I thought the tone was a little all over the place. The movie couldn't decide if it wanted to be subtle or melodramatic. I had heard this movie was super sad, and not being familiar with the story at all, I did find it to be very, very sad. But I had a little bit of a hard time connecting because of these inconsistencies in tone. That said, shifting from subtlety to these big explosions of emotion does mirror how repressed the characters are. So maybe that was by design. The first half of the movie also felt a little bit cliche, going through all the familiar beats of a sports drama, but I can give this a pass because the story is really about what happens in the second half of the movie. And then finally, I found the father character Fritz to be a little bit one note. He was portrayed as truly monstrous and cruelly selfish, but didn't really have any other humanity. So the character for me lacked depth, which took me out of the story. It's kind of weird to say that a character based on a real person wasn't believable, but maybe if the director showed us how Fritz justifies his cruelty to himself, he would have had some more humanity and not been so two-dimensional. In the end, I liked The Iron Claw, but I was a little bit disappointed, making it a solid 3.5 out of 5.